So decided to run the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge and did it. Pretty simple concept. Run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. I chose to start at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, and then that ran through, made the final run midnight Sunday night into Monday morning. Challenging, physically fairly difficult, mentally challenging for a few different reasons, but it wasn't quite the apocalyptic challenge that I had been led to believe it was from YouTube. I don't know why that is. I'm wondering if part of it is the 4-minute mile phenomenon, where the 4-minute mile was considered impossible for forever until it was done, and then once somebody did it, it became achievable, and you had still high-level athletes, but college and high school athletes breaking the 4-minute mile. And so if you search 4x4x48 Goggins challenge now on YouTube, you find hundreds or more, maybe thousands of people who've done exactly what I did. Just take the challenge on, finish it, and film the results. So it didn't seem quite as daunting, perhaps, as it might have had I not done the research that I did. The research helped, though, because it really did give me some top tips that I'm sure helped me out a lot. And the things that I did very well in hindsight were, first and foremost, keeping to an easy pace.
So here we are on the first run, going along nice and steady, not trying to set any speed records for a variety of reasons. One is we're going to be doing a lot of running for the next 2 days, and over 4 miles, 1, 2, 3 minutes a mile pace doesn't save you that much time, but you can overdo it really easily. The other thing is I'm doing this at about 8,000 feet altitude on a loop here that has some significant up and down each time around in a very tight circle. Every loop around this building is about 0.16 miles and involves this lovely bit of uphill every time and downhill on the other side. So just gonna be really mindful of the pace, settle into it, stay steady, keep going. See you when the run's done.
I think I averaged out to just under an 11-minute, 30-second mile over the 48 miles total, which is exactly where I wanted to be. So I walked the uphills and was very judicious about the downhills to make sure I didn't step wrong, injure myself, or do any kind of cumulative impact damage from that. So the slower pace, I think, helped a lot. I saw a lot of videos where folks were running kind of race pace, running 7-8 minute miles throughout, and they were hurting by the middle of the challenge and definitely to the end. So I think just keeping my heart rate in zone 2, keeping at basically a conversational pace. As you see throughout, I was able to talk to the camera just about all the runs. I think that really helped. I think with one exception, my nutrition strategy was right on. What I did was I didn't really significantly increase my caloric intake, because even though I ran 48 miles over 2 days, it wasn't all at once. And so I ate my normal diet and then augmented that a little bit. But what I did was I made sure that I would finish a run, stretch out, and then eat almost immediately, so that I gave myself as much time to digest as possible. And that, I think, really helped because I had zero stomach issues throughout. The one time that hurt was the first night. So I got up at 4 a.m. on Saturday, ran that, effectively fasted, didn't take in any real nutrition, just kept up hydration. 8 a.m. Saturday I ran, and then I ate breakfast. Noon Saturday I ran, and then I ate lunch. 4 p.m. Saturday I ran, and then I ate a very early dinner, and then I stopped eating.
So here we are on the last little bit of my 8 a.m. run on mile 32, and it's starting to grind, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not hurting physically, I'm just run down. This run, more than any so far, my legs feel heavy, things feel stiff, energy's a little bit low, and I'm wondering if that's a fuel issue, because I made a trade-off overnight and didn't eat after the 8 p.m., midnight, and 4 a.m. runs, so that I wouldn't have a full stomach when I was trying to sleep. I slept well, I got good quality sleep in each stretch, but man, am I hungry right now. So I'm hoping after I finish these last couple of laps, get some good stretching in, good recovery work with the foam roller, and some food, I'll bounce back. Sunlight's definitely helping. It's nice to be back in daylight. We'll see how the rest goes.
So that was a lesson learned, is to keep fuel coming in on a more regular basis on these longer efforts. Hydration was fine. The overnight was a little bit tough. I was still pumping fluids, but I wasn't drinking fluids throughout the rest time when I was asleep, obviously, like I was during the day. So it felt like I was a little bit less hydrated on the overnight than I was during the day, but I made up for it pretty easily. I never felt the ill effects of dehydration. It just felt like I wasn't doing as well overnight. The small loops were definitely a mental challenge. Running 7 loops to a mile, so 6 to 7 loops, so anywhere from 24 to 30 loops, depending on how well my GPS watch was picking up, per 4 mile run really started to get old.
I guess what we do is just drive around this circle here. Should be the second left exit. There's the hotel. Hey, look, kids! There's Big Ben and there's Parliament. Kids, Big Ben, Parliament again. Kids.
We know Big Ben.
Parliament.
Like, the challenging part of this that I liked was the stop-start. Because when I think about the world's toughest mudder, which is really what this was a stepping stone to, that 24-hour race, there are going to be stops. Maybe I'm not going to do a full stop each lap, but there are definitely going to be stops where I go into the pit area and taking the nutrition, change clothes, put on a wetsuit, take off the wetsuit, rest. Maybe I'll sleep for an hour or two. And starting back up after you have stopped moving is very difficult. So doing this 12 times over the 2 days, I think was really valuable mentally, and is something that I'll be able to carry when I do longer challenges and into the world's toughest mudder, is that ability to just get up, relace the shoes, and get moving again. Because there were a couple of times that was a lot harder than the actual physical challenge of doing the run. Once I was moving, I was fine.
So, 10 minutes to midnight. Time to get dressed up real quick, do another 4. I would much rather definitely be still sleeping, but mood's okay. This doesn't feel like the end of the world. Doesn't feel like a super huge grind thus far. See how the run goes, see how the rest of it goes.
Day after, I was sore and tight this morning, like you would expect after running 48 miles in 48 hours. My hips were tight, my calves were tight because of the hills. Whether through luck or just taking good care of myself, and training a little bit before this, I didn't have blisters, didn't have ankle issues, didn't have any chafing, didn't have any really overuse issues. So it was more a matter of just getting up when the clock said it was time to lace them up and go, getting outside and getting moving. Had a lot of help. I was posting updates online throughout on Instagram and Facebook, and I was getting a lot of support, a lot of comments, a lot of likes. People, when they're out and about, when they would see me and they knew what I was doing, they would give me an attaboy, a high five. Had one friend who came out and ran two of the sessions with me back to back, which was a real boost to just run and chat and talk instead of plugging into my earphones, listening to the Rocky soundtrack over and over again.
So here we are, finishing up mile 20. Big thanks to my man Travis for coming out the last 2 runs and keeping me going. You see how dark it is. It's only gonna get darker, then it's gonna get light again, and we'll see how we're feeling. See y'all at midnight.
So having a support network and having people cheering you on and knowing people are watching and pulling for you is really important. But the real key, just like anything else, lace them up, get on the pavement, put one foot in front of the other, repeat as necessary. So this was fun in kind of a weird, semi-masochistic way. It was very valuable, and it was a good experience, and I'm glad I did it.
And that is a wrap on the 4x4x48. Just finished 4th mile of the 12th run and feeling good. Really glad I did this. Had a good time with it. Pushed through a couple of difficulties, but all in all, went really well. Everybody that was hanging with me online, liking, sending messages, sending direct messages of support. Everybody that I ran past, giving high fives, saying keep at it. Thanks a ton. Really helped get through the longer spots. I think now it's time to go take a shower, get some rest, line up the next good challenge. We'll see you for the next one as we keep working toward the big challenge, which is, of course, World's Toughest Mudder 2024 coming in November in support of Warrior WOD. So everybody going through the program there, stay tuned. I'm gonna keep suffering right alongside you. We're gonna keep pushing fitness as a prescription for our mental health. Have a good day. Hope somebody else to have a good day. Keep on going one more step at a time.